Hey guys, Glad here today to bring you guys another new build guide. I've been working on this build since after the patch, and a few of the viewers have asked me, what build is this? What am I running? Can I get that build? So now that I feel comfortable running this build, I feel comfortable that it's going to do well and succeed with other people. I feel like making a build guide for it so you guys can choose to run it. You guys can, see it in action and decide for yourselves if it's something you want to try. Alright, so moving on into traits. We're going to take Wilderness Survival, Beast Mastery, and Marksmanship. In Wilderness Survival, we're going to take Oakheart Salve, Refined Toxins, Empathetic Bond. Moving on into Beast Mastery, we're going to take Resounding Timber, Two-Handed Training, Beastly Warden. In Marksmanship, we're going to take Call of the Wild, Brutish Seals, and Remorseless. You can take Steady Focus or Moment of Clarity, and if you decide to do so, you can also swap out Signet of Stone if you don't want it for Protect Me, for more regen and swiftness. Alright, moving on into equipment. I wear all Cleric's armor. I've been using this for the build. It's worked good for me so far. You obviously can use whatever armor you want. You can deviate from the build. It shouldn't hurt it a whole lot, but this is the way I run it. This is the way I've been using it. I also run Superior Rune of Duena for more healing, more regen uptime. You can obviously switch those out if you don't want to use those for something like Melandru or some of the other rune sets. Now moving on into trinkets. I run a Zerker Backpiece, a Knight's Earring with a Zerker Earring, and I run a Cavalier's Amulet and Cavalier Rings. Moving on into weapons, I run Great Sword, Sword Dagger, all Zerker, and I run Hydromancy and Intelligence in the Great Sword, Bloodlust in the Sword, and Sigil of Air in the Dagger. Moving on to the utilities, I run Troll Heal. You can obviously take it off and use We Heal as one as the shout. It's really up to you. I use the Troll Heal again, and it's worked out for me. I'm also running Signet of Stone, which improves your toughness, gives you some might due to our Brutish Seals. Run Lightning Reflexes to get out of stuns and remove Immobilize. I also rock Sick'em as our primary shout in this build to give 40% damage and 40% movement speed to the pet, give us regen and swiftness, and make it so people are not able to stealth. I run Rampage as one for fury and stability and swiftness, as well as it's considered as shout, so we get all the shout benefits. And that's about it for the build, guys. Let's go on into World v World and talk about some things there. Alright guys, now that we're in World v World, I'm going to kind of go over some things about the build. The first thing I kind of want to share about the build is, even though in this build you're going to have a very low crit chance, it still seems to me that I crit a lot more than I probably should, or that I normally would with this, something like this. Mainly because we got a lot of fury uptime in this build. We got the Sigil of Intelligence, and just every time we swap weapons to Greatsword, we get 3 critical hits. So even though we have that low critical chance, it still seems like you crit a lot more in this build. Another thing I kind of want to go over is, while you're in a fight, make sure you utilize your pet's taunt, your pet's ability. Make sure you keep your pets alive. Pet management, again, as I talk about in my other builds, is very important. It'll help you be a better ranger. Pet management is a very good skill to learn. The pets in this build can hit anywhere from 800 to 9.4k. I've seen a 9.4k crit from my wolf. You know, make sure you're hitting sick'em on people. Just make sure you're getting that extra damage out of this build. Now the build does crit pretty high. With Maul, I've seen some 6.4Ks, some 7K crits. Even though we don't have, again, that much crit chance, and you know, we just have the minimal amount of power. So anyways, guys, this build is very tanky. Very tanky. You can take a lot of damage with this build if you're running it the way I do. You're gonna heal. You're gonna out-heal a lot of people. Your troll heal's gonna heal you for a lot in this build. So fighting things, getting hit, it may not seem like you're losing a lot of health, mainly because this build can regen so much. Fighting thieves with this build is very, very, I don't want to say it's easy, but fighting thieves with this build is kind of not too difficult if you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for. To me, thieves have been one of the least likely classes to kill me in this build, but that being said, there are some thieves out there that could probably potentially burst this build to the ground. Now fighting with this build has been a lot of fun. It's really tanky, has a lot of regen, does good damage, has immunity to damage when you need it. So I mean, there's really not much to talk about on this build. It's pretty much the normal, straightforward power build. Just make sure you're utilizing your evades on your weapons to evade big attacks and get your poison in there, and you should be good. There's not much I can really say about the build, guys. It's just a standard great sword dagger build, and I hope you guys enjoy it if you decide to try it. I certainly have enjoyed it, and you'll see me play it on the stream if you come by the stream. Thank you, bros, for watching the video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully you guys will tune into the stream. And I hope you boys enjoy it. If you decide to try the build, if you like it, if it works for you, don't forget to leave a comment below the video. I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say about the build. And again, thank you guys for watching. Later, bros.